2 days later, while protests were still taking place outside the police barricade, Seattle police violently arrested a woman named Laura Eberhardt, pepper spraying her while her small child was in her car. They claim she had assaulted multiple officers several nights prior while police were launching their tear gas attack. An officer showed a wound which he claimed was proof of the assault. More than a dozen officers showed up to make this very public arrest in what appeared to be a retaliatory show of force against protesters. Days later, it would be revealed that Seattle police went through Eberhardt's social media and found this Star Wars meme that she had posted featuring a quote from Woody Guthrie. They used it as proof she intended to murder police with her car. She was eventually released without being charged. The next night, Seattle police were positioned on a rooftop above protesters with a large scoped rifle shining green lasers down at the crowd. In return, a few people on the ground were pointing red lasers back at them. Police claim that a protester threw an incendiary device at police earlier in the day, but the pictures they released clearly show it was a candle. And you can tell it was a candle because it has a label that says candle. It was a tense night, but ultimately ended peacefully. But around 10:30 that evening, 7 squad cars rolled up to arrest a man named LBRY outside his home. They claim he had been one of the people shining red lasers at police. Evan is best known recently as the person who had recorded a video a week earlier of a 7-year-old who Seattle police had pepper sprayed directly in the face. Just like Laura Eberhardt, the protester they'd arrested the day before, Evan was released without charges a few days after his arrest.
You can't give me the right to be a human being. I'm fine with that right. Now you can keep me from having that if you've got all the policemen and all the jobs on your side.
Hello friends and fellow human beings, and thanks for joining me for this video. Now in this video, you'll see me follow up with some Seattle policy enforcers regarding the unmarked car you saw me investigating in the previous video. Well, at least the policy enforcers inside of that vehicle. It's kind of hard to investigate the actions of an inanimate object. If you didn't catch my previous video and that investigation, links to that video as well as the other video I posted from this night and the live videos from my partner and host in Seattle, Extortion Everywhere, are in the description below. Now what you're about to see is a policy enforcer from Seattle do everything he can to not investigate a policy violation from a fellow Blue Line gang member. The point of this video is to show exactly that. How members of the Blue Line gang put it, the gang, first and foremost above everything else in their minds. They will lie, cheat, and steal to make sure the image of their Blue Line Mafia is not tarnished. Friends turn on each other and lies are told to uphold the image of the office. I've personally seen it happen to people involved with the Blue Line gang. If this man uses discretion as much as he says, and what appears to be happening more and more because of the political propaganda being spewed to the sheeple in Seattle, then why is he being paid to be out here? Shouldn't that money be rightfully returned to the people it was stolen from so they can use it for their own personal defense if they deem it necessary? Instead, we get this man and his fellow goons out here dressed up in Halloween costumes with guns and perceived authority over others, pretty much purely just as a show of force. They might as well be mannequins with fake guns just positioned out on street corners. You know, kind of like scarecrows in a field.
Well, I mean, it has to do with the markings on state-owned vehicles.
It's an exempt plate, yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's a state-owned vehicle, right? Publicly owned. So that's what the RCW establishes, is how they have to be marked.
I'm not familiar with that specific RCW.
You should look it up because it says that.
I'm not driving a vehicle like that.
Well, you're not, but aren't you charged with enforcing the laws of the state, the RCWs?
I'm unaware of that RCW.
So you can look it up in your computer, right? It's 46.08.65. So for specifically for police, municipal, it says that or all police, you can only use them for special investigations or undercover work.
Yeah, so they're not regular patrol. Like I've said, they are a different unit.
Are they a special? Because different unit doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah,
are they a special Are they special investigation or undercover? Because those are the only things they're allowed.
Special investigations unit, yeah.
So what is their special investigation? What are they investigating?
We have a lot of special different investigations.
So but like if someone came and told you that I was committing a crime, wouldn't you investigate it? Right?
I'm investigating that crime currently. I'm trying to figure out what
you're not even going and asking them what they're investigating.
I'm aware of who that is.
So why don't you find out what they're investigating so you can reassure a member of the public who unwillingly
ask
pays
them
their.
yourself.
They won't talk to me. They won't. They were
Okay.
uncooperative.
I don't know what
might
they're
not
doing.
work
That's what I'm
today.
saying.
Right?
You might want to leave this guy alone.
Why? I'm just
Because why
asking him
not?
questions.
You know, I think leave him alone. He's just doing his job.
Well, I know. I'm just doing my job. I'm asking him questions.
Cool.
Right?
You know, sometimes it's like.
Is it not a free country? And I'm just making.
I know the rule.
I'm just
I know
making
the
sure that
It
these
is-
other
it's
cops
a
down
free
there aren't
country,
violating an
brother. It is.
RCW that these guys would
You're
charge us
absolutely right.
crimes for, right?
You're absolutely right, brother. I'm with you. You know, I'm just like sometimes you gotta
Sir,
catch him a break.
Not really.
I think exemption plates fall under the market. There are market.
No, it's a publicly owned vehicle, dude.
Yeah, exemption plates are market.
No, it
vehicles.
specifically says the size of the lettering, what it needs to be. It says specifically that it has to be in contrasting colors. I mean,
Like
you're
I said,
asking me to pull it up. You got a computer that I pay for right in there.
They're up to tonight.
Well, you could go investigate and find out, and maybe charge them with a crime if they're not doing it right.
Need to. They're not committing a crime
How do you know?
because I'm aware of what that unit is.
So if
I don't know what they're
you
doing
saw
tonight.
someone that was driving down the road and they crossed some of these yellow lines, like would you just like, well, they're not actually committing a crime, so I'm not going to investigate anything. Like, you know what I mean? There's no victim to like.
We're talking about different things here.
No, we're not, dude. I'm telling you there's a crime being committed and you're not investigating. You told me you didn't know and now all of a sudden you're
investigated
so you've
it. I
changed
heard
your
what you
story.
had to say.
But what I'm saying
I
is
think
like
we have different understandings of that law.
different understanding. The law is black and white. It says what it says and it doesn't say what it doesn't say. There's no understandings or interpretations. Dude, it's black and white. You're either breaking it or you're not, right? Isn't that how laws work?
Yeah.
Or do some people that have more money and privilege be able to get excused from laws?
I have discretion, so.
Well, yeah, so you're using it on the police, on your fellow gang
I use
members,
it on
but
a
you
lot of
won't use
things.
it on other people as
I
well.
use discretion on a lot of things.
You did use discretion earlier tonight. I noticed that when I was over there. I appreciate that. That was nice.
What's that? Yeah.
Go over there earlier tonight. I saw you with that guy. You used discretion there.
Okay.
But like, how do you decide when you use discretion or not? Because that can
Well,
also,
it's up to
discretion
every
can
individual
also
officer.
be, it's very close to discrimination, right?
I can't hear you.
Discretion and discrimination almost sound the same, right? So you say discretion,
Very
other
different
people
words
say
there.
discriminate.
Very, very different words there.
But they're very similar too, because you say discretion, but other people view it as discrimination, right?
If you think I'm doing something discriminatory, you're welcome to bring
Well,
it
you're
up.
not investing so you already gave me a false statement. If I give you a false
What's the
statement,
false statement I gave you?
so you told me originally you didn't know what they were doing, and now
don't
you're
know.
saying,
I still don't
but
know.
now you're saying you know who it is, and you know that they're a special investigation
I know
unit.
what they
I've got
are.
it on camera,
I don't
dude.
know
You
what
said
they're
at the
doing.
beginning you didn't know.
I said I know
So
who
you're
they
giving,
are.
so
I
you're
don't know
giving me,
what they're doing.
you're giving me contradictory statements. That's what I'm saying. If I did that, you'd be hemming me up for something, man. There's an RCW that if I give you a false statement, that's a offense that I can have money extorted for me. But the
they are a
Supreme.
special investigations unit. I don't know what they are investigating currently.
But how do you know if they are if you don't know what they're
I
investigating?
know what unit they are.
So why don't you tell me what unit they are? What's
I
their
don't know what they're
investigation?
doing tonight.
But their
They're
unit,
called,
so they're like a.
CRG, they're the community response group. They're not patrolling.
Okay,
Special
thank you.
investigation
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Community response group. So now I can look up what that is and actually determine if it's a special
There you go.
investigation.
Yeah.
You guys should be doing that investigation, not me. But you're not going to do it on your own. So.
Well, I know what they are, so there's nothing further to investigate.
Well, that's because your boss told you that they qualify under the law and they can use those cars. So you just, oh, okay.
My boss isn't here.
Whatever, dude.
So seriously.
Whatever, dude. All right. Well, have a good night, man.
Do you really think this guy cares about public safety when he won't even investigate a policy violation specifically having to do with preserving public safety? Thank you again for supporting my channel. Just by watching my content, you are supporting my work. However, if you want to support me in other ways, sign up on censorship-fighting YouTube alternatives like LBRY, which uses Odyssey for its video platform, or Hive. Use the links in the description to earn yourself some decentralized crypto for getting started. There are non-cryptocurrency platforms as well, but you might as well get something of value in return for your support of your favorite content creators. Links to all of the platforms you can find Questionable Authority on are in the description. And don't forget to check out the Questionable Authority merchandise store.